Hello, how you doing? It's like it is. Let me take my glasses off. How you doing? I had to talk about something been going on lately. I was on a multiracial group on Facebook recently. We were talking about racial issues, and also about the Latinos having their own racial category in the 2020, okay, census, and also to what else? I was talking about something else. They talked about other things as well, and I brought up the OJ trial. Actually, they put in class was white, whatever. But we're gonna talk about the OJ trial, and we're gonna talk about the Latino category thing. But we're gonna talk about the OJ trial, and it's been 20 years. In June, 2014, be 20 years since 1994 of the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. And I'm gonna talk about as a multiracial identifier, a multiracial person multiracial person who is multiracial mixed, not first generation, and who does not believe in the one drop rule and actually admit multiracial heritage of those who do say they are pure or not. In this situation, and for example, O.J. Simpson identified as African American or black. No, well, take it back. You don't identify as African American. He identified as a black man, a black American, as I read in his book that he written when he was locked up due to the murders and the trial. And his background is African American, American Caucasian, just like mine. Okay, dad side Southern white and black. And so his background, his dad heritage, ancestry, and mom is African American, American. And you actually see in Eunice Simpson's face, she has a lot of Native American features. And O.J. Simpson's lips are not as big as mine. You know, we're the same complexion, we're both caramel, and they even darkened his complexion on Time magazine, trying to make him dark skinned in his mugshot. Viral racists are very offended by that. But during the time, I didn't have any opinion whether he was innocent or guilty, because I did not like the fact that the media made it a race-based trial. It's about two murders, had nothing to do with race, but the media frenzy played race in the legal system as well. Corrupt police department in LAPD, LA County, the Mark Farman, and also pleaded fifth in many cases before the elder trial. And Mark Farman had always pleaded fifth and never got in trouble because he knew the game. Okay, he was a racist cop against African American Latinos. And still is. Although I give him credit for writing a book by Terry Shriver, whatever her name was, the one that died long time ago, actually 10 years ago, and I wish she didn't write that book. Someone else had the courage to write the book about her life. And anyway, the point is, I wanted to bring what I feel today. Now, back then when I was a teenager, I didn't have no opinion. Not everybody of African American heritage believed that he was innocent. I had folks in my family, we're not going to remember, even though they passed away, felt that he was guilty. Well, I'll go ahead and mention those who are alive, my dad. And that folks, they believed he was innocent. Both sides. It was a big argument in the house, trust me, in the family. I got tired of it. And no, I love Selena. When Selena had died, I didn't want to wish on her. I wanted to see her concert in '96, because I didn't have no transportation and money to go to the last concert here in Houston, because I'm from Houston. Okay, lots of Royal show. But the trial came after. Now we knew who the killer was, Salazar. But in this case, we don't know who killed him, whether he was innocent or guilty. And the media, big hate the media distortion of the case that they played, and they only took two boxes. Now I couldn't. It was I think it was charged. If you call the number, if you believe that he was guilty, you're black or white. But now everybody's, well, you look black. Well, let me explain that. The African slaves were much darker than I was. They were the pure blacks. Okay, I'm actually mixed with African American, French, Creole, English, Native American. And that means I'm African American, Caucasian, Native American. Okay, so that's my background. Okay, your ancestry determines your background. Okay, so whatever my parents look like, they have whatever that's who they are. I'm not with the one drop rule, and thank God legally we can check more than one box, or check the two races or more. That's our multiracial category box. Okay, but they had put two boxes for two choices, whether you're black or white, and then we have a more diverse people today. One job rules no longer the law. So you have people like myself who classify themselves as a multiracial person. So what box would check? Then we have Hispanics. Sometimes Hispanics are classified as white, but they're not pure white. They're multiracial people. Okay, multiracial mixed people, mixed with either mulatto, mestizo, or Afro mestizo, meaning both Africans, all three, African, Spanish, which is European, Native American. You have all different features, different complexion, different hair textures. You know, you name it. You know, you have people who like Sammy Sosa, so like Andy Garcia, who are Hispanic. And then you have Asians, you have Native Americans. You never know, you may have Aborigines. You know what I'm saying, from Australia. We have Pacific Islands. Well, why would you just put two boxes? You know, not everybody's just black and white, and we have people who mix them both, and we have people within the categories that people will play with. Somebody that looked white, that was mixed with black, passed as white, married into the white population, and they might say, wait a minute, I might look white, but I'm part black, white, and say vice versa, just like someone me, or if somebody else darker than I am, you know, that's mixed with white as well, they might say, well, excuse me, I'm both. You know, I have two different races in my background. I'm not 100% just because I look a certain way. Genes is like monopoly. It's like gambling. You know, you might have a dark-skinned child, you might have light, whatever. You know, it's just amazing. We have a mixed, population. But the point is that this man who considered black in society was married to a white woman, and society used it as a racial base, and I did not like it. I actually hated that they used it. They used stereotypes. You had black nationalists, coming on the shows like Geraldo, trying to say, well, he did try to act like a white man. And you had racist white people who say the same thing. They both believe the same thing. That's why it brought all this trash into play. And then you had people who was against interracial marriage. Same thing, black nationalists, white nationalists, whatever. But my opinion at the time was never whether he was guilty or innocent until 2006. I'm at El Paso Community College. I was in a job corps in El Paso, Texas, and I was at El Paso Community College on the computer, and I happened to bump into a tape. I'm so used to old school. A video, okay, on YouTube explaining that Nicole was talking to her mother while OG was on a plane to Chicago. And I said, wait a minute, there's no way he can be two places at the same time, on a plane at the murder scene. So somebody had to been there. So I started to believe that he was innocent because I forgot the man who wrote the Serpents in the Air or something like that. I actually put the link on my box, but I can't think of the name. Then, last year and this year, I saw a white man that from Texas. Okay, I hate Texas mentality, but I like the state. Hello. He's from Dallas, D-Town, okay? A older white gentleman he was investigating, and he said, oh, they did not do it. His son did it. And actually, it came to two conclusions because Gene something, I forgot his name, Glenn something was accused in the tape that mentioned that O.J. Simpson was on the plane. The video that's on YouTube, written by, I think, last name Jefferson or something, the third. He's a medical doctor or something, examiner, and he mentioned that O.J. Simpson had nothing to do with it. Ron Goldman had a criminal background, but they have a California snitch law where they don't reveal dead people's criminal records. I don't know why they did. What's the deal? He wasn't all that good. Ron Goldman, Nicole Brown Simpson also was involved in drugs. Faye Resnick also mentioned that she was in a lesbian affair with her. They mentioned, and also the untold story. Last night I was looking at it, was talking about that O.J. Simpson was on drugs. It was from the BBC. I'm glad for England. I mixed with English. That's right. And this was biased, about the case. They had two sides, but they were showing the part that O.J. did not do it. And they said that the sides show that Ross, whatever his name is, a white man that was, a hitman, he would not reveal everything because, of course, you don't want to get killed. He's locked up. He was cocaine dealer, and he knew O.J. and as well. Then one of his friends, the African American descent guy that was sleeping with Nicole, he was upset about that too. Of course, you know, they was married or I don't know, whatever. But they was talking. He had no pay with all the stuff on there. So there's 3 guys: Jason Simpson, I think Glenn Rose or Gene Rose, whatever his name, on another tape that also another documentary that talked about all the murders he killed, and his brother mentioned that he believed that he killed Nicole and Ron Goldman. He had big, you know, he was also. I mean, as I went to sleep last night, I didn't finish looking at the tape, but Glenn Rose Jr. was also molested when he was locked up in jail by the prison guards. Okay, the legal system. We just had the same problem here a couple years ago with a teenage, the juvenile system over there in downtown. Somebody was doing sexual offensive things to kids, locked up. It's so sad that people do stuff like that to this day. And then in the legal system, it's so stupid. You know, people do corrupt things in the legal system. We're going to make sure that not everything is holy on earth. Okay. And then also they said he killed people in the South and also in California, and they believed that he was connected with the O.J. Simpson murder. The Nicole Brown Simpson murder, and also Ron Goldman. So you have Glenn Rose, Ross, whatever the white guy, that Eric Ross, whatever his name was, the one that locked up. That was right now wherever Nicole was going to and everything. He had Jason Simpson. Now I believe that those 3 men had something to do with it. I'm sorry to believe that, because they said, I mean, when she was getting stalked, they mentioned that she said Jason or either OJ was following her. Then they said that Jason had a bad mentality. He had sharp knives. He was a cook. He had a disorder. He wasn't taking medication. He tried to attack one of his supervisors when he got fired. Also, too, they said that OJ's son, Jason, attacked one of his girlfriends, chopped all her hair off. He lucky that I'm not that girl's brother, because I was 9-10, got gangster right there. I'm sorry, it was L.A. Did she have anybody connected? I mean, kind of, you know, it's kind of silly, you know, gang related folks down there, because he would not be alive today. Not to mention anything, but anybody cut my sister's hair off. I mean, my daughter's hair off. I was a father of that child, and one of the girls, I think both of the girls were biracial, multiracial. Yeah, one because I think Jennifer, whatever her name was, she looks white, almost white, but she's mixed, part black. Well, if I was that doggone father of hers, I would 19 got that man chopping my, you know, he trying to kill my, I don't care if she was a dog, no. I don't care if it was rich or celebrity or not, you know what I'm saying? They would put me on trial. Saying that was, but OJ had nothing to do with the case. He just had an abusive past with Nicole, and anybody would assume, just like if Ike Turner was still alive, and Tina, we all think, God forbid, I love Tina Turner. If Tina Turner was to die along with her husband, whatever, we all think Ike Turner had did it. Because Ike Turner had a pass on that dope, on that coke, snorting it and killing, trying to knock Tina in the head until that limbo. We saw Angela Bassett portray that role, and I also had go Angela Bassett. You know what I'm saying? I love Angela Bassett portraying it. Who I love What's Love Got to Do with It. That's my favorite movie. One of my favorite movies, besides Selena and some other movies. Okay, I love Tina Turner. You know, I love Roll and the River. And she's also mixed with black, white, Native American as well. I don't care if 1% Native American. She's still part of Native American. It wouldn't be zero. When, you know what I'm saying? She started, you can see in her features. But, she, you know, we always think that Ike Turner had did it. But if there was other people involved and Ike Turner was someplace else, the case was showed. Remember, they didn't present these in the phone records, was not mentioned in the case. And, in the video that, as I think, I forgot the man's name. Is it Jefferson? The third or something? I forgot his name. He mentioned the video that was on Fox News. And it was an African American descent lady and a white lady. And the white lady was saying, oh, it's all about OJ trying to go with his white world. Now, she actually showed her bias right there. Because instead of mentioning, if she didn't mention no race at all, it would not been an issue. But she did. She actually did. And the sister on the side was saying, hey, you know, freedom of choice. I'm not going to, he wants to date white women, hey. And she said, well, racism will not allow him to live in the white world. You know, it doesn't bother you that OJ wanted. they only white women. She said no, freedom of choice. And exactly, freedom of choice. You know, he can date whatever woman he want to date. You know, and they say they allowed the damn man marry. You know what I'm saying? So OJ's dating game, they got nothing to do with me. You know, that's what she was saying. You know, and I agree with her, and I believe that hey, if OJ was a woman and she, you know, if he was a she and she wanted a white man, hey, that's her business. You know what I'm saying? Why we use race to determine somebody else's life? That's one thing I hate about racialized collectivism. Everybody loves to use race, especially if you have African American blood. They want to tell you where you live, where you stay, where you marry, what type of hair you're supposed to wear, what type of stuff it is. It's not a version of slavery. I call it socialized slavery, social slavery. That people don't like me, people that bash me for on this, my trolls to come on the internet, they don't like it when I talk about this because I'm trying to go against the racialized social slavery today. Okay, we should be free. One day we all should be free, and we're supposed to live as free in this country regardless of what our race or background is. And it's no different. I'm going to use this example, and I'm no different than Paul Wall. I love Paul Wall, talent. I admire this Caucasian guy in rap and hip-hop, and I got nothing against him. He's married to an African-American woman, and let's say, hypothetically speaking, God forbids, that he killed, well, actually, he had abuse of past with her, and he left her, and then the next thing she and some other brother was killed, and everybody thought it was Paul Wall. Well, the evidence showed that Paul Wall was not there at the murder scene. I have to agree with that too. You know, it's cool. You know, so only 3 guys I have, they must have got together because, you know, Nicole and Ronald Goldman was supposed to be at that restaurant where Jason was supposed to have been cooking that night, and he closed early. They found out the owner closed early, and then he took his girlfriend home, and you never know, he might call up the guys who was involved, the other two white guys who was the suspects of this case that had never been brought up, and actually got together and got to kill because it couldn't take one person. If me and another person say, okay, I understand a gun being used, okay, but a knife, let's say there was nobody. I mean, if me and my homegirl just chilling and somebody just came in trying to fight me, trying to kill me, or try to kill the girl I'm with, or whatever, or my homegirl, I'm not gonna sit there and just kill me too. I'm using chairs, whatever. I got to get a knife, whatever, stop that person from attacking her, get a pistol or something. You know what I'm saying? And when Nicole, she ain't had no pistol. I mean, come on, girl, come on. You know, I'm sorry. I mean, I believe in the stand ground law. I believe in the Second Amendment. These folks are crazy. You gotta use protective weapons. And for these folks getting crazy days, you know. Of course, I don't want a cowboy, you know, fighting Western days, but it's getting that point, you know, because these folks out of control. They don't care if the laws say this and that. They gonna just try to violate someone else's rights and kill somebody, take someone's life for their own personal purpose, you know, not for no legit reason, you know, as in defending yourself. So Ron Goldman sit there and not do nothing. I mean, he ain't run, he ain't try to get no weapon, he ain't try to call the police, he ain't try to, you know what I'm saying? So I couldn't imagine OJ doing this. So it had nothing to do with his color, by being black. But one thing I hate, they use him as and I'm gonna bring a movie. A racist movie that actually called segregation. Birth of a Nation. Silas Lynch was a vicious man. He was mulatto. Or since he's black, white, and American, just classify himself as black. He was rich, married to a white woman. Okay, if you look at it, I'm gonna put Tragic Mulatto Myth on there on the click, so you can actually read about Silas Lynch, how they portrayed him. Power hungry, yeah, he had an animalistic that's on the black side, but the ambitious power hungry came from the white side. And O.J. Simpson, they pretty much betrayed him as well. He, the vicious, you know, person, wanted to beat up Nicole, and you know, but at the same time, he had the money hungry. You know, he was rich, he was famous. You know, he had that white side, and he wanted to live in the white world as they portrayed him to be. You know, he didn't want to live that I'm gonna go ahead and say the N-word, the nigger world, and the ghetto, and all the other stuff. And I hate the fact that they even had a preacher on back in the day, in the 90s, telling OJ come back home in the hood. And if he came back home with all that money, knowing them folks down there who could, well, the gangsters out there trying to kill him over that doggone money. I mean, it's kind of stupid. It's like going to Queens to try to have $1 million. No wonder Tupac got shot. It wasn't Biggie. And also, notice that the LAPD wanted to investigate the case about the untold story of the O.J. Simpson that was on BBC because they wanted the bad image of the part being corrupt. And also the corrupt. People gotta understand that for a long history, LAPD has always had corruptness in it before O.J. and also before Rodney King. You gotta understand, I'm a big fan of Glow Gorge Lady Wrestling. And I ain't know that Mount Fiji and her family was harassed by the LAPD, falsely accused, because there was the only Samoans, Pacific Islanders, there in that area, and they fought against the trial, and actually they did not get no apology from the LAPD because they knew they was wrong, but they didn't want to. They had so much arrogance. This actually never been publicized all over the world until I read about Mount Fiji. Big Bad Mama had passed away like last year or 2 years ago. That's one of the Voodoo Queen on the show. And I was just showing my friends on Facebook and everything about this one about the Voodoo. Why I always talk about the Voodoo Queen? I love Big Bad Mama, you know. And I love Glow Lady Wrestling. And I read about Mount Fiji. She had her family had a run-in with the law. And it wasn't her. They weren't fault. They was having a wedding shower. And the LAPD came there, and people, white, most of it was calling. They had it was mixed, but it had somebody complaining about how they had the island music and all this other stuff, and people was fighting, whatever, getting drunk. But it was not true. So it was her sister's wedding shower in her dad's house. Mount Fiji, I forgot her name, but Mount Fiji's family had got harassed. They were being beaten. And mistreated. Her brother almost going to commit suicide. And they said, well, why would you commit suicide if you didn't do it? She said, excuse me, I'm not going to jail. And I felt the same way, you know, saying, you know, he did not do the same thing with the OJ thing. You know, he was accused of being murdered, and he didn't want to be in jail with all them fellas and crazy folks. Something he not, you know, they go on his record, he can't prove it, you know. He not do it. You know, that's what he thought at the time. So LAPD had a long corruption with, Mark Farmer. And you notice that when Notorious B.I.G. had passed away, and I think I mentioned this on my East video about, did you think that, thank you for correcting me, the person, Jerry Keller, had something to do with his death, and rumors are saying that, and I want to stand to Jerry Keller, because I don't think, I don't know, I'm not God to judge it, and I don't believe in that Illuminati mess. But, going back to the situation, do you think that, I was saying, do you think that he has something to do with it, or do you think this is all a scam, whatever? And they correctly say it wasn't John Keller, it's Jerry Keller. Well, what I'm thinking about Eazy-E. Well, I mentioned in that video about Biggie, one of my videos about Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G., Christopher Wallace, a rapper, was getting killed in LA after the Soul Train Music Awards in 1997. Music was great back in the 90s, trust me, because I missed the 90s. I graduated in 98. I was 17 going on 18 a year, and I remember doing this Selena movie. It was going on, and I remember watching that time between that time when Biggie Smalls got killed. Selena movie just came out with Jennifer Lopez. That Friday when it came out, I remember watching My Little Barrio with Natalia, the novella at the time, in 17 in junior year in the spring semester, and Biggie Smalls had passed away in March of '97, and then I know later on in years, like in the next year, that 2 police officers was friends with Suge Knight, and they was corrupt cops. So LAPD, the white man who was doing a good job, who had left, who retired because of the corruption, and it was an African American kind of lighter skinned man that was in charge of the county, of the LAPD county, did not want to open the case because we had embarrassment with the OJ trial with Mark Farmer, a white man, racist cop. Now it kind of funny. 2 cops that's accused of Biggie Smalls' murder. That was linked with Death Row Records, and African American chief of the county police force did not want to open a case, all because a white male racist cop, Mark Farmer O.J. Simpson, screwed up the case and made exposed how dirty. And this is way before it was like about 2 years before the Rodney King verdict. You know what I'm saying? When this happened. Now, talking about when Mark Farmer, was involved in the case, okay? Before he pleaded 50 in 95. I know he was 97, Biggie Smalls got killed, but 94, Mark Farmer was put in 2 years, 92, that's when I was in, 6th grade? Going on 13, 12 years old, when they had the LA riots, okay? And everybody was talking about racial harmony and all this other stuff, okay? And I think Clinton had won that year. Yeah, Clinton won. No, Clinton had won later on that year. And the Rodney King verdict. But this is before this was '89 when Mount Fiji's family was harassed by the LAPD, and someone videotaped the harassment. Now, no one never brought this case up, but see, LAPD had a long, dirty history with the corruption of the police department, being involved in gang activity and everything else. Drug activity, okay? So, this is the reason why they don't want to reopen the case again at the civil trial with O.J. Simpson. And now O.J. Simpson's locked up in the Nevada county jail. Well, locked up in the prison in Nevada because of what happened being stupid. I will say he'll being stupid. You sold your stuff, you can't get it back, okay? I know you're trying to, pay it off, but you cannot go up to somebody and demand something that you used to have, even if you had your name of it. Just like if Barry Gordy got mad for selling Motown, it didn't make no sense for him to try to demand and to get it back to him when he gave him a lot of money to him, And he was trying. I know that O.J. trying to pay the Goldman and the Brown's family, but after the trial, he should have sued the whole California state. And I think he knew something, and they said that in the tape, he knew something about the case. That he didn't want to admit, it had something to do with those 3 guys. Jason was involved, his son, 2 white guys, both of them locked up for killing women. Okay, well, one locked up for jail, cocaine and killing, been a hitman, the other one, a serial killer. Okay, so all 3 of them knew Nicole. All 3 of them knew Nicole. And they must have got together, and it was a setup. When they mentioned that Jason was upset about their Ron Goldman and Nicole, he fixes dinner for her. And they said in the past, another video, they said the same Caucasian guy who investigated from Texas, had said that Jason and her always had problems. He did not like his stepmother, you know what I'm saying? So it's and he had knives. O.J. Simpson was either left-handed, right-handed, and it couldn't make sense. And then then they put the DNA was contaminated. They wanted the ET something they mentioned in the video. I forgot what it's called. EVTA, EVAT blood. It's contaminated blood. They were later on put after the murders, and they went to O.J.'s house and put the socks. Now, everybody did it because O.J. was sockless when he came back from Chicago. So they were trying to say he wore socks that she got killed. And he allegedly killed her and Ron Goldman and put the blood socks. Now, it didn't make any sense because blood be on his feet. They examined it. He examined his, when he left and put the shoes on and not wear socks that day. He was sockless when he came back from Chicago airport, the LAPD, the airport in LA. Okay, so we all saw him wear the black slacks, white shirt. Actually, I think I wear that in the shoes he was wearing. Then the civil trial, why he lost the civil trial because he said he would not wear those shoes. He would not wear those ugly ass shoes. Sorry to cuss, but it's funny that he did wear them, so he must have forgot them. But they said that they had to wear them, but they also said the Asian guy that was on that tape, on the video, said that he did not, that it did not match the murder scene. And I kind of think that maybe that Jason probably borrowed the shoes. Yeah, so So I'm thinking all three of these guys knew each other. Plus OJ had a cocaine problem, in a sex, and the reason why he didn't want to bring too much because it embarrassed his morality life. Into the world we all thought. Of course, not everybody in Hollywood is a cesspool, sex addict person, but he was. And so was Nicole. Nicole was young. Well, she was in her 30s and she was young guys. I can relate to that because I messed up my adulthood due to recession, transportation, unstable job history, also to live in Job Corps and deal with them rules. You can't go out at night unless you go live with somebody, stay with somebody on the weekend. They had to get, and I don't know what's in that person's house. I was like, no, I'm not staying with somebody. I don't have no money for a hotel. I want to stay all night at the club. The bus don't run that much. Same thing in Houston. So it's I'm in my 30s. So I kind of relate to Nicole, in a way. I like young women. You know what I'm saying? She like a young man out of OJ. You know what I'm saying? After OJ was way older than she was. And next thing she had 2 kids. I don't have kids, but I can relate to a person at 30 trying to live their 20s. Okay? So she's trying to live a young life. And so I don't do drugs. And I live a chaste, celibate life. But she was living a sex life. I don't know if Faye Reyes needs to tell the truth. She didn't care about how the children will go through in life, about their mother's sex escapades, after she exposed them in drug use, after their death. And she had no respect for that. Faye Reyes didn't have no respect. She just wanted to get famous, write a book about her diaries, and actually believe that OJ killed her. Then also, a lot of folks invested in this trial to make money, like Kato Kelly. Kato Kelly tried to post for Playgirl magazine. He was a friend of OJ and then betrayed him. You know what I'm saying? So people made money. Tabloids made money. It was media frenzy. They were trying to get racial bias. It actually divided the country. And then also too, it was a false sense because I knew white people who was for OJ's side, and I knew people with African American descent who was against OJ. Okay, my father. Okay, so but I now agree that O.J. Simpson have to be innocent unless he planned those murders for those 3 men to take place. Because like I said, 2 people it had to be more than one person to kill 2 people. If I'm somewhere with a knife, now a gun, yes, but there was no gun use. There was knives, and I think they mentioned that Jason could not have a gun because he had a criminal record. And felony. I think he had, since he was a child, had trouble childhood, and he had a rage disorder. So, but they say somebody with that, and all 3 of the guys had that type of disorder, and he was not on the medication. And as a person that's bipolar, I know I can get crazy, so I can understand that he probably had killed, and the other 2 white guys had killed Nicole and Ronald Goldman. That's my guess. And I believe that birth of nation mentality was used in the media to portray OJ as Silas Lynch. So, and remember, this is birth of nation is promoted. Promoted the white supremacy because they felt fear that the blacks were going to take over and the KKK would lose and all that other stuff. You have to see the movie Birth of Nation and also read about the treasure mulatto myth as well. Because, one, to live the white world, they darken his picture. People say, well, you're not, they try to use that colorism, that the whites doesn't look at colorism, that it's only a black issue, a black identity. That's not true. Yes, it was formed by a white master, but they used colorism in this situation because they knew by him being a lighter skin tone, not extremely light skin like Jason Kidd, but not being like, what's the man's name? Wesley Snipes, okay, color, okay? And he married to a white woman, and we know that color has something to do with admixture back then, his family tree. That's what they felt, he feel like he's a little lighter skin, and we're going to darken his picture, we're going to make him look criminal, we're going to make him look black as tar, and all those stuff. We know stereotypes, but you got to do history to learn this, okay? And that's why I bring up these issues, because history is a root of everything that goes on today. It repeats itself. So, in this case, it repeats itself. The birth of nation idea was used in the mentality, and they used, and you cannot say I'm wrong because they used 2 groups, black and white. They forgot Hispanics, mixed race people, Asians, and Native Americans, and maybe other and Aborigines. Okay? You know, so it's kind of stupid that people would not look at this case. And it was a multiracial trial because you had some Hispanics involved in it, and it was racism between Hispanics and black issues too as well. Geraldo Rivera, who's mixed race Hispanic, part white Jew, part Puerto Rican Hispanic, was blamed for making the trial make the because actually I kind of agree with that, because at first on ABC, Frontline, either 2020, not Frontline is NBC, hold on, Primetime, sorry, or one of those shows on ABC. The Goldman family, the Brown family was for OJ. They actually loved OJ. They thought so much good about this man. Nothing about about OJ grabbing, you know, Nicole's crutch and all that. This is where my children come from and all this other stuff. And I don't know how Denise was crying, but none of this, there was no cries on that until, what's his name, Ronald Rivera, who's a lawyer, came in and talked to the Brown family and the Goldman family, and next thing, they were against OJ. And remember, everybody was on OJ's side, you know, when he was in that Bronco chase. Everybody was cheering, Jews, Jews, Jews. And it was very multicultural. It was very multiracial. It was not just only people of African American descent. It was for those who were white, Hispanic, Asian, and all. And they were whatever. But everybody was like, if you're not black, some people was on the white side. You know, it was kind of racist. I mean, I did not like that. And so the only ones I would mention that who was in the Hispanic population who was not for the OJ trial, they was for the Selena murder trial. You know, when here in Harris County, Houston, the trial take place, and many Hispanics because I met Hispanics they felt he was innocent, all women those who felt he was guilty, but also felt those who, especially those who are immigrant or those who was not into the black and white issue mess, politics in society, who felt, and it was mentioned in the Houston Chronicle that, well, we don't know if he's guilty or not, but we know who's the killer in Selena trial, so we want Yolanda Salazar to be punished, you know what I'm saying? So, and I was on the Selena side, and you know I love Selena since 93, fall, it was actually late summer, Johnny Kanana's show. So I was upset. I love her as an artist. I love, actually, sorry Chris Bettis, I love your wife. I was a teenager, I couldn't marry her, so you couldn't read at the time. But I love Selena. She was beautiful. Ooh, big lips, long hair. Ooh, very exotic features, nice shaped body, everything. And she danced and she was sexy and classy like Beyonce. Well, Beyonce's getting more nastier, but she's married though. But anyway, at least she be nasty with her husband, Beyonce is. But she was classy and sexy. She wasn't like out there like Madonna. They try to compare her to the Mexican American Madonna because she wore the bustiers. But anyway, at the same time, I wanted to ask y'all, it's a 39 minute video I made, and I know it took a long time. I had to bring all the details, so throw all the issues out there, and I also remember that you know, it was so much, a lot of stuff that was out of the OJ trial. I understand why that Johnny Cochran did not bring this up. If I was a lawyer, I'd bring all the details. I don't care how long-winded it is. It relates to the case. It can be messy. It can be hearsay. If it relates to the case and it's logic, fact, we're gonna use it. Okay, that's how. I mean, if I should be a lawyer, you know, I talk a lot as well. But I'm trying to be a singer, actor, model, and maybe if I get tired of that, I'll become a lawyer when I get older. Okay. Anyway, give me a comment, and I hope that you enjoy everything I said. I hope you love everything I said, and I hope that you actually enjoy it. And like I say, me believing that O.J. Simpson has nothing to do with race, in 2006 changed my mind. Because at first, I hated the fact that if you're a black, you had to believe he was innocent, black, he was a sellout. But like I said, there was people who actually, black nationalists, felt they was guilty. Okay? And people who actually against interracial marriage in the African American being hypocrites, knowing no matter how light or dark they are, when they got some mix in their background, felt that he was guilty, and they felt that he got what he deserved, you know, mixing with a white woman. So, you know, yeah, it's actually true. I mean, I actually know people who actually believe that especially those in my own family. Okay, so okay. Anyway, that's why I have a different mentality. That's why I mentioned the multiracial background, and I'm not for that black and down BS and all that other crap. Okay. Anyway, God bless everybody, and whatever. If you don't disagree with what I believe, just be intelligent with it. Don't come in there and be a troll. If you be a troll, I'm gonna report you to YouTube, Google, Threats, all that will be reported to law as well. Okay, I am a snitch. I do care about my life. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye. Have a nice day.